People play they part in they tragedies. Hater make a hater, a master, he make a masterpiece. And dog, you gon' be puzzled by life until you masterpiece. I blow palms casually, mudras they form naturally. What's going on, y'all? It's One Way to Flood, man. It's Free Game Thursday. This segment is to basically talk about shit outside of music. You know what I'm saying? Stuff from my life experiences, things that I've become aware of over time. You know what I'm saying? It could be a variety of things. It's kind of a broad topic. Yeah, man. So the topic for this episode, you know what I'm saying, is more so I just want to raise awareness about this, man. If y'all not already hip, if it's for you, great. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, you know what I'm saying, oh well, it might be a different episode for you. But I really want to raise the awareness of these things, man. You know what I'm saying? I call it Free Game because, you know, if I could at least, you know what I'm saying, make one person aware of something that might, you know, these little things can impact your life greatly. And I don't necessarily think they're little, but I'm saying little changes that you might make just based off of watching this video, or things that, you know, and I tell you, go look into this shit for yourself. Anything I say, go look into it for yourself. Anything anybody says, you go look into that shit for yourself. You know what I mean? But don't I'm putting this shit out there, so, you know what I'm saying, if you got children, if you can relate to any of this shit, you know what I'm saying, you can become aware of it, because and I'll explain why in a second here. You know what I'm saying, the little things all add up and have a big play a big, you know what I'm saying, big role. So hold on. Get my shit right. So yeah, so the topic for today is it's basically about the agenda that's been going on for generations to break up the home. All right, and this is very important because obviously people are the you know what I'm saying, like, let me rewind a little bit. There is a trinity, okay? I'm not sure if you're aware of it. I'm talking about there's a trinity that reflects infinitely. Principles reflect infinitely, right? And I could say this trinity in many ways, you know what I'm saying, love, power, wisdom, all right, 1, 2, 3, positive, neutral, negative, you know, morning, afternoon, evening, you know what I'm saying, man, child, woman, okay? So the reason why this is important is each of these aspects, okay, play a specific role, and I forgot when the third, fourth, fifth dimension, you know what I'm saying, we'll get into that a little bit, and maybe in a different video, but all of these are the same principle, and it's important to understand the roles of these principles, because you have a divine masculine energy and you have a divine feminine energy, right? So in a household, in a perfect setting, right, if everything were in balance, right, you would have a man. The man elevates the consciousness in the home. The man is the life spark, right? And I say that because the man is the life spark for the seed, and the woman is the foundation. The woman is the has, like I said, the egg. The man has the life spark. The woman has the egg. The woman grounds the home, just like in a circuit. You know what I'm saying? The woman would be the ground, right? So the woman grounds the home. Man elevates the consciousness. Now, that third principle is the expression, right? That's your ego. So, and another way to say the principle, mind, soul, and ego, right? The ego, people like kill your ego. You don't kill your ego. You balance, you tame your ego, because your ego is your expression. That's your vehicle of expression. And so another principle, another degree of that would be the child, right? Which would be a direct product of the balance or the relationship between the mother and the father, right? That's, like I said, in a perfect setting, if it was a 2-parent household or whatever. So, because single parent households are a product of a broken system. Let's like make that understood. That was not, you know what I'm saying, that's not how things are. And I was in the, you know, my mom was a single mother. I'm not gonna go deep into that, but I say that I don't say that lightly. You know what I mean? So women that have had to play both roles, you know what I'm saying? Nothing but respect for you, you know what I'm saying? But it just wasn't like, that's unfortunate that you had to do that, and I feel like that's overstood, you know what I'm saying? Overall. But so back to the subject though. So what's been going on with that agenda, and it's through many efforts, right? Is basically you change the identity of the man, and a man, like I said, I gave just very brief descriptions of the role of the man and women in the home, right? The man is also protector, in one way. They're both, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that this is, you only do this, you know what I'm saying? You do both, but this is your primary role, right? So, but when it comes to, I want to say that to say the woman and man have no precedence over each other. It's a balance. You're half of a soul, right? The womb man that people like to talk about, people say the womb man is a different entity than the female that we have today, okay? The womb man was before we split into male and female, okay? We'll get into that later, but I just want to say that as a different entity. That's when we were a whole entity. So, like I said, that's a different video. But so the male and female, and that balance isn't, I can go work out in the yard for 8 hours and lift, 300 pounds and display, these crazy physical things, or, I'm saying crazy, relatively speaking, and you should be able to do the same thing too. No, that's not the balance. Y'all have different skills and strengths, you know what I'm saying, and weaknesses or areas that you fall short, and together, you know what I'm saying, you can encompass or cover all of them, you know what I'm saying. So it's a balance, and what's happening, or the agenda is to change the man's identity of himself, change the woman's identity of herself, and that's pretty much happened. And I don't say that that's not completely, obviously, you know what I'm saying, I don't speak for everybody. I'm saying that's what the goal is, right? So now the children are wide open, and y'all see what's going on with the children, right? So I'm bringing this up because it's through many ways that this has happened, right? And there's many traps out there. Like, I gotta be careful of these little groups, women's rights group or women's activist group, the red pill shit, the Black Lives Matter, all these little things, man, they just fucking trash. They don't have your best interest, right? They're almost like Trojan horses. You gotta be careful, because you get into these, you know what I'm saying, stop following these things, and then they start having you doing some off the wall shit. So you really gotta think critically, you know what I'm saying, not going, just blindly off of these pages. So when it comes to like social media, the entertainment, just TV, the music, all of it's all in there. The subconscious programming, all these things, right? So the attack, even in the food, right? You got atrazine. I don't know if y'all have heard or are familiar with that, but that's just one thing, you know what I'm saying? And they've done experiments to show that influences homosexual behavior. Now that was in animals, but I mean, we're not fucking stupid. Why is it in the water supply, amongst other things? All these, y'all gotta really pay attention to the stuff that you're eating, because it affects your eating, it affects your thinking, and it affects how impressionable you are. It affects how passive you are. It affects how how aware you are. You know what I'm saying? So I don't say that to say like I'm not perfect. I don't do, but I fast. You know what I'm saying? I detox regularly. I have a routine. I meditate. I raise the frequency of things before they go in my vessel. You know what I'm saying? All of this plays a role into, so when they put something out there, you don't just fucking accept it. You're not a fucking robot. You know what I'm saying? You don't program yourself. Somebody else will. Right, and this is important because, like I said, they are on their children now. If y'all not paying attention, You know what I'm saying? These videos, you got motherfucking kids on Instagram doing all this reckless shit. This motherfucker like 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's on the parents, but it's still the conditioning of the generation before. This is a plan over generations of time. You know what I'm saying? Mothers out here trying to basically convince their children that they're gay or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Or convince that, just very backwards stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta ask, where does this shit come from? You know what I'm saying? How do these ideas get programmed? It's not just we say the parents, but where the parent? Like, it's not just passed from parent to parent altogether. It's also the environment. So the media, the food, women being raised off these reality TV shows, and all of this shit works together in this. You know what I'm saying? The woman that we see today, you know what I'm saying, is also a product of what men have become, you know what I'm saying, and that the feminization of the male. So all of this stuff, like I said, once you get the man and woman are so confused on their role, now the children are left wide open. They're trying to get, separate the authority or get rid of, kind of diminish the authority and strength the parents have over their children. You know what I'm saying? You put it on, and it's deep, because in these shows you got, I put on a baby show, right? And then you got, you think stuff on Disney got subconscious programming, imagery built in that's, in the shape of a dick, or, you know what I'm saying, of something just inappropriate, you know what I'm saying? Even in the baby shows, like, or then you get a ad, fucking 10-minute ad of just some shit your kids should not be watching, you know what I'm saying? Or just some crazy shit. In the schools, they got, now they got books in the elementary and middle school teaching, oral sex, you know what I'm saying? Like gay oral sex, when the whole topic itself shouldn't even be that in the school, you know what I'm saying? They're setting up things to separate you from your children and remove your power from your children, and they are using the school to implement things from this agenda. I'm not homophobic, I'm not none of that, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta start, like I said, that passive shit, all that shit, like, it's programming and conditioning to get you. Like, years ago, like, come on, like, certain things were not accepted, or certain things were not okay, and over time they've been showing you this imagery that show you, and I'm just using this as a primary example. When you're a child and you see male entertainers, melanated male entertainers, I'm a melanated child, I see melanated male entertainers constantly in dresses, you know what I'm saying, regardless, and they're getting money and, success. Like, children process things differently. Like, then it's okay. Like, and so many people focus on, like, oh, you're being homophobic. No, that child's identity of a man is being fucked with now. You know what I'm saying? Because he got to be a man one day. Like, and I'm not saying I don't say this shit to go completely change your life off of a fucking 10-minute video from some nigga you know what I'm saying, you probably don't even know, you know what I mean? Like, nah, look into all this shit for yourself. I'm not, please. What I'm telling you is just to be aware of it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not homophobic, none of that, you know what I'm saying? These things are obviously, now, you can't see that they're important now. They're important. The roles are important, and the circumstances that, a lot of people have had, are products of a broken system, and they were intentionally done. Men and women intentionally put, against each other unknowingly. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, you'd be surprised how many grants and things there are, incentives for women, for single women and women that aren't married, when it comes to, like, business grants and things like that. Especially now, and I just use that as a little example, right? But turning, especially in the melanated community, and it's across the board. Like, the feminization of the male is across the board, because the male getting rid of the male principle. Like, a lot of men don't understand the principle is the heart. It's the same. I mean, it's the same principle. It's the heart. You know what I'm saying? Love. The male's principle is love. The woman's principle is wisdom. The woman, but see, it's just like the brain, wisdom and brain, the mind, the same principle, right? But they're meant to regulate. Okay. It's not meant like your brain doesn't meant to run anything. Your whole body in an awakened state works interdependently. You have 3 main brains, 4, but you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about the brain, heart, and gut, okay? And so, what I really want to get at is just understanding that syncing the heart and mind, right, is going to basically give you a balanced expression of the ego. The ego is the power. Okay, the ego is just, so that expression of power is far greater. That is the vehicle, right? So just understanding that having all of these principles, man, woman, child, all these things work together. Like I said, and for women that have had to fulfill both roles, or the fathers that have had to fulfill both roles, you know what I'm saying, I got nothing but respect for you. But it is, unfortunate that you've had to do that, you know what I'm saying, in any way, but there are just certain things, like, I mean, you've heard it all the time. There are certain things that, a woman cannot instill in a boy, and certain things that are not really. And I only became aware of this because once I became a father myself, that aren't really looked at because we're programmed differently. We're wired differently for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're half of a whole, and I think a lot of times in a single parent household, there's just things that are just inevitably missed, that are not covered, experiences that are not had for the fostering and the development of the child, that because they're just things that the other, unless you have somebody else that can kind of fulfill that role in some ways, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it is what it is, like, and like I said, my mom was a single mother, you know what I'm saying, when I lived with my mom, before I got adopted, and you know what I'm saying, so I've been there, like, I know many single mothers, all that, like I said, I got nothing but love, nothing but respect, you know what I'm saying. We've seen great people, great, amazing people come out from single parents, but like I said, it is still a product of a wasn't supposed to, you know what I'm saying, like the system that we had today, and I'm not gonna get into it, could be whatever, for whatever reason, but if y'all understand the how fucked up, the lives that we live in really are, you know what I'm saying, across the board, it's a product of a broken system, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, so wrapping up this video, the topic of this video is just to make you aware of that agenda to break up the home, and because the main idea is basically to disconnect you from yourself, disconnect you from the source, right? So the more and more they do this shit, they're disconnecting you from yourself, okay? So right now, like, if you disconnect from yourself, you can't connect with yourself, you can't truly connect with somebody else, you can't give somebody something that you don't have, you know what I'm saying? So, and then all of that affects the children. So the children are the future. We were once the future. Somebody was once the future before us, and we've been heading into, if y'all not paying attention to what's going on, you know what I'm saying, you gotta give hats off to credit where it's due. Like, it's just been pretty effective, so it's just things to stay vigilant of. Really look into this shit, really look into what can happen from just these little, because what's missed is that it does shit over time, you know what I'm saying, and it affects your thinking as well. Your vessels supposed to last way longer than they do, you know what I'm saying. So understanding that the foods you eat, it's not just, and it's not just the foods you eat, but the media you're consuming, you know what I'm saying, the music that you listen to, all of that shit is weaponized, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm not telling you go change your whole life and none of that. Like I said, I don't live no perfect life or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But little stuff, you know what I'm saying, has a huge impact. You know, just being able to now, you know, if you ain't know about your children's shows, that's something to stay hip to. You gotta pay attention to that shit. Your child's on them shows or at the schools, you know what I'm saying, what they're really doing or what's really going on at the school. That's in your child home. That start asking you questions, doing a survey from you, asking y'all what's going on, asking information that ain't none of their business. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want to make people aware of this shit. You know, aware of the media, like, you know, because a lot of times this shit is so passively done, we don't fucking realize it. You know, but if you don't program yourself, somebody else will. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. But yeah, man, it's One Way to Flood, man. It's Free Game Thursday, man. Y'all have a good one, man.
Sit by the leash, packed up. No matter who you slipping, it don't matter who you are. Yeah, the facts are, they act strong. But been deceived in this game, and all the niggas that can't come. I tuck a deuce early, my time could be better spent. In a greater stepping with my chakras in the mix. I'm God without a stick, but what's attached shit like a rod. Heavy is the head, cause I'm held back if it ain't charged. The Benz still in the cut, applying my scars.